Just a minute. I've got a screen that's missing somewhere. Here we go. Let's bring this back up here, and I'm going to should bring it into view now, so it should be okay. Let's get rid of that. I just want to bring this
on the housekeeping side, maybe Doug, just to, if someone has any question, obviously to go through the chat, and
yes,
we'll try.
Absolutely. Thank you for reminding, and I will be monitoring the chats here. So as the questions come in, I will interject with the presenters just to pose the questions.
Yeah, we should have Rupinder with us also as well.
Okay,
so.
See the screen now?
Yes, we do,
Yes.
actually.
I have 25 screens going here, so if we go to presentation mode, it throws it everywhere. So let me just.
The same issue yesterday.
Yeah, it's a pain. I'm just going to go to one screen.
Oh, Rupinder.
Hey, come back. Where have you gone?
Hey, Rupinder.
Where's my screen gone?
Rupinder's on mute.
I can see, yeah.
There we go. So we should have the screen.
No, actually,
we can
now
see
we can
there. Now we see the slide deck.
Yep. And we should be able to go to presentation mode somewhere there. Get out of the way. Okay.
Yep.
We good?
We see you. Great. Everything is perfect.
Okay, Gary, why don't we get going? We're 5 minutes after.
Okay, no problem, Doug. Not a problem at all. Okay, so where are we up to with number of people there, Doug? Are we getting there?
20 people.
Yeah, we've got 27 people on.
Okay,
7.
cool. Okay, hi folks. Firstly, a quick introduce myself quickly. You've seen the bio on that, Gary Bailey, and so I'm not going to go into much detail there, but glad to meet the people I've never met before, and some I probably may have met before. But we're going to run through playbook here with information on Business Connect for you guys. Okay, and with me today, Rupinder Sandhu is the sales engineer. I cover the East Ontario. Well, I cover Ontario, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. But actually doing this session for whoever's joined this call. So let's keep it rolling. Okay, so basically what we've got today, introduction to unified communications, obviously. That's what Business Connect is all about. So a bit of the Business Connect overview. We've got some how to sell Business Connect, what we're going to do there, questions to ask, different things, etc., ideas we can put forward. We're always open to Q&A, which is always a good thing, right? Because it brings out different things that you don't always get on a screen. And then demos and resources where you can go to, you can reach out to, for it to help you as you go through your day-to-day business, right? To see if we can introduce you to different things and different scenarios to try and upsell the product. Very important. We're here to help. Please always reach out to us, whoever's available for you, to the TELUS sales, and we're here to help you all the way through. So what is unified communications? Obviously, I'm sure that people know, right? I mean, the big thing is it's the calling, messaging, meetings, analytics, call center integrations, all put into one. I mean, previously I've been around a long time. It was all separate. We did this piece here, we did that piece there. And as we know today, Business Connect brings all them things together for TELUS customers and makes it a super easy product to actually manage and also to use. With depth in, analytics, especially, integrations is probably a huge one for us. Okay, so the idea is not to miss out on the different things which blended into the unified communications. And like I say, we know it's in the cloud, but just want to stress there when you're dealing with customers, make sure they understand it is a cloud system and not hosted, right? Because a lot of the other providers out there are actually hosted. So they take the software from somewhere else, put it in their data centers, and then host it out to customers. That means software updates and things like that are always slower. We do 4 times a year, okay? So product, market, and overview as we go through. So new TELUS MVP, message, video, phone. That's the new way we're putting everything forward. You'll see MVP on all the different things that you'll see out there. The new TELUS Business Connect as we roll forward. And this is obviously by the Ring Central side, which is MVP's moved out there, okay? So this is actually one of my favorite slides. The wheel slide to me is something that all you guys should use. It makes it really, really easy to put a system overview to the customer, and it brings questions out for the customer. You can use the left-hand side here if you've already talked with the customer a bit. You can use the left-hand side here to actually put 3 points on there which hit home for the customer itself, how it can improve that customer's business. Just put in here what you want to on this left-hand side, right? But if we look at the wheel there, I use it, Roop uses it, and most salespeople with TELUS in Ontario or SSMs will use this with customers as well because we've got them to do it. So obviously we start at the top there with a voice system, everything's in there. You take the PBX out of the closet where it's stored today, we throw it up in the cloud, put all them features over the internet and reach out to the customer. So the customer needs obviously nothing on site to drive this, okay? Your DID for your fax, your phone, and your SMS, okay? We move to the right, team collaboration, SMS, multimedia messaging. I'm sure you know it's all in there. The team collaboration is obviously the messaging we have in now what is the unified app, right? The unified app now does our phone, it does the video, it does the meetings, everything. Integrations, probably one of the biggest portions for us as well, is integrations. I think with Ring Central, I think it's probably 2,000 plus different integrations. Never be scared to just go online and say, does this integrate with Ring Central? Does this integrate with Ring Central? And once you get to that page, you'll see it's also sometimes more often than not aligned with Business Connect as well. So very, very to do a quick, fast lookup if you're on with a customer and he says, will you integrate with this? Just ping it in there in a Google and you'll find out. Visual IVR editor, IP fax, visual IVR editor. Everyone likes to call it IVR these days. It's really, it is an auto attendant, but it's IVR in today's world. Very flexible, easily to use. Make sure customers understand that. And if you're good at demoing product yourself, make sure you show them that, right? Because it's really as powerful. I've done this business 28 years, and it's the easiest one I've seen to use. Let's put it that way. IP fax, we know that's available in the system to either the soft phone or to the mobile app, obviously not on the desk phone. But I mean, customers still use IP fax today. You'll find the automotive use it a lot, different people like that. So it can be used up to 200 pages, 20 megabits available per fax. So in the system as well, we have a light call center. And I would say this is really important to make sure you understand the light call center piece in here and what it can do for a customer. It can take that 2, 3, 4, 5 employee customer and make them look like a 20, 30, 40, 50 employee customer just by providing the queuing to the system, right? Because it gives a bigger impression to the customer. You can do different things. You can put your advertising in there, your messaging in there, whichever thing you want to do, right? Queue them calls. It doesn't cost anything in our business to queue calls because it's queued in the cloud. All the messaging's in the cloud. If they have a system on site today and they're trying to do anything of this stuff, right? It's chewing lines up. They have 5 people queued up. They have 5 lines tied up all the time. We have 0, right? Because the only line you're using is the one you're connected to a customer with. That's it. Detailed reports. We can provide fully detailed reports. And that's, if you ever look at that, the best thing to do is just download all the reports. And if a customer asks, give them the reports that they can get from the system, right? But then reports also are available for the call center side. So they can see how many calls they're queuing. They can actually advertise a number to do a promotion and then look back and find the history of that number and see how many people called it, right? And do things like that. Video conferencing, obviously, it's full video conference within here based on desktop video conference. And also we have a rooms conference as well, true video conference in a room. So TVs, cameras, everything else, customer can use what they want. We provide a software hook in and they can use that as well. If any questions, just put questions in the chat and Roop will be answering some of those as we go through. And we'll also have some Q&A time to talk about things. So TELUS Business Connect 2.0. So 2.0 really where we brought in the unified application, right? So this was, a quarter ago, but some people still don't use it today. They've not always swapped. They need to swap, right? But the unified app now is exactly what you're going to find, which we did, I think it was Q1 this year. We did the unified app for the mobile, right? So people have been using this app for quite a long time, never really thinking about it. And now what we did is we caught up with the desktop and we put the same app on the desktop. Makes it really simple now for when you're going through things with a customer, because what they see on the PC is exactly what they see on the mobile, right? So very easy. So if I want to join a team, a meeting from outside, a video meeting, I can do it from a mobile exactly the same way I can do it from a desktop. So we put everything in there, even from if you look at the right-hand side over here where you see the little picture of yourself, that's now where if you're using queues, you can just take yourself in and out of the queue very easily. Okay, so it's really, really easy to use. What I do with this personally is I always try and get the customer to, send this to the customer, right? So if you got a presentation you've just done for the customer and you want them to see it, invite them to this, right? They will receive a link and they can load this up and they get it, right? And now you can share backwards and forwards, right? Makes it a lot easier because if you're sending a big file, right, it goes through very easily. You try and send it by email, sometimes it won't go through because too much space required. But this is really, really easy for you, right? So, I mean, and you can get to everything here. You can get to the voice manager from here, right? There's nothing else that you can't do from within this application, really, right? So message, yes, we know message is in the system, team message, file, task management, collaboration. Again, I try and use this with customers, right? Yes, we do the emojis. Yes, we do the GIFs and everything else. APIs, SDKs for custom integrations. We do a lot of that, right? So, I mean, like we're working with one customer now with ServiceNow. We do all the others from Box and everything else, right? So more or less anything the customer's got that really is an open API platform that can be got to, you can integrate, right? No issues whatsoever. And like I say, the Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, etc., Box, many other applications. But make sure you follow through with the customer on these things. Show them the different areas from the messaging to the video to the phone, tasks and to connections. Show them that you contacts. You got private and you got messenger contacts in there, and you can show them all. The new TBC video, TELUS Business Connect video platform, right? So, this came out April 1st. So prior to April 1st, our backend was Zoom. I have no problem telling the customer it was Zoom. It was our instance of Zoom in our own data center, but it didn't allow us to change things when we wanted to change them, right? We were controlled by Zoom. So the nice thing is now AT&T did some testing for 18 months on our new platform, which is the platform you're looking at. And, platform on screen here, I should say, right? And they tested it for 18 months before we released it. As April 1st, any new customers were moved over with TELUS onto the RCV platform, the TBC, TELUS Business Connect, okay, video platform. So everyone's now into this new form. We're constantly adding different features and functionality into the voice, the video, the fast, flexible, etc., anywhere, any device, right? So we're just making it as easy as possible. And now we have control of this so we can make the changes we need to make to address our market out there. If you don't use it, use it. The best way of using tools, seeing tools and being able to explain them is use the tools. So phone, obviously, nothing new about phone, available, all devices, we know that. I mean, my common thing is anytime, any place, anywhere. Really, you can't, if you leave yourself open on the devices, you're never going to get away from that phone call, right? Because it's always going to be there following you around. Okay. I think one thing here, especially when we're looking at these things, is also, network connectivity, SD-WAN and all them things. Let's not forget the WAN LAN guidelines with a customer, right? Because it's very important, even on small customers, right? Because, is QoS enabled on the network, right? Is it going to go through smoothly? Do they have enough bandwidth on the network to do things, right? So, I mean, everything's in there that we can do. Obviously, you've got, like I say, SMS, media, fax, everything all rolled into the one application, whether it be phone or whether it be a PC. Easy admin. I think this has always been a case for us. It's very easy admin on the system. Again, I've worked on multiple BroadSoft. I've worked on Nortel. I've worked on Avaya. I've worked on Cisco. I don't think there is an easier version of an admin that I've seen, to be perfectly honest. You know, I can compare it to some BroadSoft ones, and BroadSoft to this is like looking at a DOS-based system to try and get around things, where this is more, you get the true Windows feel in a way of being able to do things on it. And the QoS stuff there, the analytics when you're in there, very important that you show customer them things, right? You know, yes, they're on an internet system. If there's any questions there, you know, well, you know, I'm not sure about it. Well, look, let's look at the calls on it. Let's look at the QoS. Let's look why they were a bad call, a good call. You know, point out to them that, you know, it's either inside your building or outside your building. And you can do that very easily from the QoS stats, right? You can say whether it's inside or outside. Then the customer's got some knowledge to call TELUS and say, look, you know, I'm having no problems inside, but I'm still having some issues on voice quality here. I think it's, you know, an issue. Why TELUS? Winning with Business Connect, okay? I think one, personally, it's a great product, right? It's easy to use, right? I don't think customers knock it. If you show it properly to a customer, I think it's very powerful. Always try and tend to lean it to things that the customer wants to do. You know, if they're interested in this, you know, if they're interested in a smart multi-level auto attendant, then spend some time there. You know, if they're interested in, okay, I want to get these reports out of it, then spend a bit of extra time there with them, you know, and going over them things. But, you know, it's obviously the all-in-one solution. We can't get away from that. You know, industry recognized, the biggest thing there is we're Gartner recognized, right, as a leader in unified communications, right? Yes, we have call recording, reporting, all the analytics, the management, mobile, etc. Right? So we do everything within the system. You know, call recording, ad hoc, or auto call recording. You know, we have the different plays there. So I mean, obviously, you know, with fast, flexible, modern cloud, like I was saying, always remember on that cloud piece, we're cloud, we're pure cloud, right? You'll find, like I say, you'll find them out there, and they're not pure cloud, right? 4 times feature releases per year. That's important to some customers, right? Because they, you know, they come in from an old system, and it, well, you know, yeah, it's been 2 years, 3 years since I had my upgrades. Sometimes maybe because of them, sometimes because their provider has not done it. You know, I know, you know, BroadSoft in a BroadWorks flavor, right? Probably take 9 months, a year to maybe 16 months to get a new release out. We do 4 in a year. So we not only does it get features, but you address any minor issues that may be a problem for customers, right? So it gives us a chance to do all that stuff. As you see there, the open API platform, pre-built third party, I think very big as well. More and more customers today are using integrations for different things, whether it's Salesforce or anything else. At one time, you only got integrations when people were using contact centers, right? Because that's all they wanted. But now it's more down to the desktop individual as well. Moves as changes, always very easy. The only thing a customer can't do is they can't add a number for a user themselves, right? That's still through TELUS at this point. So obviously the complete solution built for your work stream, you know, nothing, instant join host before, during, after, etc. You know, again, it's all about that one use application, right? So we want to make sure that everything's coming in. You know, the reliability with TELUS, not only the reliability to TELUS, but one thing you guys should retain is you're the feet on the street for the customer, right? The customer has now got their hand holding for them, right? A lot of these other providers out there can't provide that because all remote diagnostics, it's all remote deployments, right? They can't do that hands and foot thing where TELUS can bring that to the customer. Why we win against the competition? So why do we win? You know, what's different from us, right? Yeah, I mean, against the traditional PBXs, no on-site hardware, the customer doesn't really need anything. They don't need any phones, right? They can have the soft phones. You know, are we scalable? Yeah, we're scalable, right? Where does the customer need to be, right? Think of the different things that we can do in here. Yes, you can be less expensive. I like to turn that round a bit, and I like to say to a customer, look, as far as I'm concerned, tomorrow should be different from today. Whether it's financial efficiencies, you know, feature functionality, it doesn't make any difference. But if their business tomorrow is better than it was today, you brought a service to them, and it's worth them paying for that service. You know, sometimes it's hard to get away from the people say, I just want to save money. Well, in today's environment, especially with small businesses, a lot of them are still paying for single lines, right? Local 1FLs, local links, Centrex lines. They're not cheap nowadays, right? Especially depending on where the customer is, they could be paying 50 to $100 a line. That makes selling Business Connect really, really easy to them customers, right? Not only are you selling them a line, but you're selling them so many more features than they could ever get on them lines, right? And everything's online, right? More connectivity, faster deployment, simple multi-location management, etc. They could have multi-site, right? So we can add multi-site to the system, right? And they can manage all them locations across Canada, right? And for today, a customer can't do that, right? If they've got multiple locations, I'll guarantee that they've also got multiple systems, right, across. That becomes a nightmare for someone to manage, okay? Not only that, your upgrades, how do you upgrade it, etc. Everything's done automatically with Business Connect. Mobile apps, collaboration, hardware choices, etc. Right? Again, that's what I was on about. You'll see to the right there, pure cloud, not hybrid. It, silly as it sounds sometimes, it is important to customers, right? Because they want to know where things are coming from. TELUS don't do anything to it. TELUS label the products. It's coming from our data centers. Speak from the strengths, right, of what we've got. Quality voice. We control in our cloud the QoS before we let calls go. Right? Obviously, we're doing a large coverage footprint. We do Canada, obviously. We do North America. And it's North America included dialing. It's more US, Canada. We sometimes get tripped up with North America. But the big thing there as well for some customers, which is important, some small lawyers, legal, people like that, small clinics, healthcare, Canadian data residency, right? That's a biggie out there, right? We are going to move eventually, probably next year sometime, to actually a Canadian data center with Business Connect in there. But that's further down the road. But we do the residency, so the recordings and everything else can be requested on site. And it's got to be requested. It's not just not automatic. Customer needs it. You need to let them know when you're placing them orders. So as we roll over into what we've got out here, obviously the Business Connect voice, very basic line, which was introduced, right? Basically what you see, the 6 main features, right? This is really a replacement for somebody who needs nothing but just a single type line, right? They just want to replace what they've got today, but they're still getting a hell of a lot more features, right, than what they're going to get on their local link or 1FL line, okay, at a much better price, right? And it includes North American long distance, right, which they probably don't get on any line they have today from a carrier in the old world. So Connect Edition lineup, right? We have the mobile, and a lot of people use the mobile. There's a lot of things you can do on there. You can still use queuing on mobile, right? Don't forget that queuing's available on mobile. We have the voice, like I was saying, that single line, right? Just there for certain customers. Okay. Voice Plus is the newer one that we brought in, right? We put an extra one in, right? Which is Voice Plus. Got some extra features, the IP fax, the mobile app, etc. Be careful where you position it. It's not fully, it's not fully fledged, but it's for the customers who don't really need all the special features. Enhanced, I'm sure you all know the enhanced, with the multi-level IVR, the conference bridges, etc., 100-person video, call recording, which is adult call recording in there, so *9, and then the complete at the top end, which really puts everything to that one license, right? There's nothing much more you need in there. It brings in that hot desking capability. Hot desking is a topic for customers nowadays, right? Because they're all reducing their office space. People are working from home, but now and again they need to go into the office. So now they'll go into the office, they can just sit down there at the desk, type in the keystrokes, and they're online with a phone at the desk. Most people probably a soft phone, so it doesn't really matter. But if they want to use that desk phone, they can quite easily, and it can change from person to person to person. Okay, it's a feature that came in a number of years ago with most manufacturers. Played a big part, I think, when telecommuting first started, probably 10, 12 years ago. Unfortunately, I was doing it then as well. But I mean, I've been working at home since 2001. So I've been doing this a long time from home office, from crappy internet to where we are today with the internet. Okay. So, simplifying the seat, simplified pricing, one standard price, every seat, regardless starter office seat. You'll see that there is no listed starter seat now, but if you're going for incentives or anything else or discounts, you'll find that a starter seat does stay at the same price. It doesn't get reduced with the other seats. It's just that it's listed. Its list price is now the same, where it used to be $10 more at one time. Okay. So as we look at feature functionality within these licenses, and I wouldn't get too hung up on looking at all of them and finding what's out and all. It's the things that are important to your customer, right? Them are the things that are really important, is what they need from you to run their business, right? Because the job is to, you're being asked as a professional to actually provide a solution to them, right? So knowing what's in there is a great thing to do, because you don't have to go through everything. You don't have to go through a shopping list. I have this, we can use that, right? So unlimited calls, obviously local number, call display, three-way calling, etc., voicemail, and these are all across these licenses. Okay, we go down and you'll see now there's a bit of change, right? So service portal, IP fax, IP paging. Some of these were originally when Voice Plus came out. There's a few things missing, which has been added to it as time has gone. Some of them we're going to add soon. We're going to add soon. So we're getting them things in there. The integrations, voicemail to text, mobile app, soft phone presence. Some of these were not there originally, right? But on the voice, you still have soft phone presence and visual voicemail as well. But that's obviously soft phone only there. Voice Plus, again, what's in there with the Voice Plus? Nothing for voice on here, obviously, like very basic line, right? But the Voice Plus, look at 25 user, the toll-free numbers there, the access to 150 apps, so we can do the apps and integrations, and then you go to the bigger ones, the audio conference, etc., CRM, SSO, automatic call recording, obviously go accordingly to the enhanced and the complete side. So basically a quick run through there of the features, the functionalities which are in there, So how do we sell Business Connect? What do we do? What we're saying to customers? Okay. So the solution, right? So driver, the feature, rapid growth, mobile, multiple locations, end-of-life systems. We've got to know about that customer to be able to fit a solution to the customer, right? What's going to work best for him? If you always ask the question to a customer, tell me about your business, what's not working, what is working, what could work better tomorrow morning, And I think the thing is, you'll always find a customer wants to talk, especially if they're an owner operator, right, of their own business, because they're proud of the business. They're proud of what that business is. Your job is to listen to them and say, yeah, we can do this. Well, maybe what we could do here is we could do this. How do you do that today, right? And within the system, you can get to these things, right? You can always, we have the curbside pickup. People say, okay, well, COVID is waning a bit now, but it's still there. There's a lot of these companies, whether it's Canadian Tire or all these others, are still doing curbside pickup. A lot of the smaller customers are doing curbside pickup. Use the system for that. Use the auto attendant to do that. Use the applications, use the text to the mobiles, right? To be able to work with customers who are turning up and they need to pick something up. It's easy to do, right? It can be set up accordingly to do them things. COVID again, I was dealing with a Canadian Tire, right? Very, very simple. They couldn't queue calls on the system they had, right? It was an old Panasonic. They couldn't queue any calls on it. Well, with Business Connect, I can put auto attendant up front in front of their current system, right? And give them all the options they needed for curbside pickup. But also I could say, please stay on the line to speak to an agent on, for something else, right? And that would forward to their old system, right? But up front, I could replace it. Now, the strength in that is that I can go back to the customer and say, well, why do you need your old system? Let's carry on using this, right? So you can move things around. You get be creative sometimes. Yes, it's knowing what you can do, but start being creative with different customers. Routing calls, so simple.
Gary, sorry to interrupt, but there's a good question posed on the chat about Business Connect Enhanced used to have a cap on the video conferencing to 4 people.
Yeah, that was removed a year or so ago, I think, if I remember rightly now. The enhanced is actually 100 and complete is 200.
Perfect. Thank you for confirming that.
Okay. It's a big, well, make use of it, right? Use it. Some of them still limit people on that, so make use of that. Again, looking at these, I don't want to go through one by one because I like doing ad hoc a bit, but, but the thing is, look at what's there, right? End of life system. They never run into that anymore, right? For customers, it's a big thing. They have to have somebody on site to do an upgrade. We don't need to anymore, right? All them things go away. The technician, do they really need to come out? You can do a remote deployment. The biggest thing really is the customer's network and how they, what they got in their office is the Cat5, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there's businesses, I just saw actually online today that, new employees, wasn't here, but new employees being hired, right, are being given the option to remote work from day one, right? Can companies do that? And them are some of the things that are going to happen, right? You can offer that to a customer straight away. No issues whatsoever. They can work from anywhere. They can work from anywhere in the world on the Business Connect, right? And still be seen as they're looking in as if they're a North American user, right? Once they're on the internet. Who should consider changing to Business Connect? Well, is there a customer that really shouldn't? Let's put it that way, right? Sales support, branches, mobile, work from home, legal, legacy for local line phone system, etc. All these people can fit. I don't think there's a business that really doesn't fit, out there. Even, another one we were dealing with today, the customer wants 30 users on a system, but he's got 20 users that never in the office. They're not really full-time employees. They don't want to pay a license for them. Okay, then give them a message only type setup, right? Where we can leave a voicemail for them, or you can actually forward it to the cell phone for them, right? No license required to do it. But what you're doing is you're creating the right solution for the customer. Okay, so again, it's thinking of them different things. Sales support, obviously sales support. We're doing sales ourselves, right? That's what we're doing all the time, right? Anyone can be anywhere. The call center capability, right? You could have an agent in, every town across Canada if you wanted to. They still look as one contact center, right? They don't look individually. When we look at call center functionality, I actually like to call the onboard software call center and the offboard software as a third-party contact center, because there's a big difference. But we can do a lot from the system inside, right? You could have somebody who's using live reports. That live report person could be looking at agents right across the country, all working together, right, on a system. Obviously, branches, no issue. Employees in the field, ideal, right? But the more you can add to these things, the better, right, to make it easier for them, right? The texting alone creates a lot of extra capability. If you look in the old reception style setup, and I'm saying old reception style setup, a lot of people went auto attendant. Now they're flipping back to live answer, right? So that even, especially in the smaller business sometimes, because they want to give that personal feel. So a call comes into reception, right? Reception gets the call. They're looking for somebody. They try calling them. It's busy, right? So now what do? Tell the customer, oh, well, that person's busy. Would you like to leave a voicemail? They say, okay, well, I'll text them. Most people today return a text a lot quicker than return a voicemail or a phone call, right? So you give them another tool to use to better aid their business. Now they can just do a quick text. I have such a buddy on call. Would you like to take the call? Right? They say, yeah, just hold it. I'm going to hang this call up. They get the call. So you got to think about these things as you're going through. How can I help your business move forward? Ask them to explain. How does a call get to a certain person today? At the end, they're struggling with collaboration. I would say there are a lot of UC is not new. It's been around for a while. UC in the cloud is more of a newer product. That's still been around for 5-6 years now. In a true cloud environment, a lot of it was hosted, right? But I mean, use all the different tools, right? I mean, how do they get hold of people? Can they join that person into a video call? Do they have to be on the road? Do they have to be at a desktop? Bring them things in, because we can do all that, right? The screen share and everything else within the system, right? So really, on the left, that could be endless of people, whether it's a lawyer, healthcare, whichever way. Healthcare, we've had a great year with healthcare, doing a lot of clinics and things like that. We've probably done 1,000 licenses with one salesperson for numerous different clinics. We have an automotive one in in Ontario that we dealt with, right? I think he's now got 40 locations on the system, close to 1,000 licenses, okay? But they're all networked together, right? One shop shuts down for the day for some reason, all them calls can flow over to somewhere else. If you set the system up properly, the customer should never not receive a call, whether he's not in his office, outside, on his cell, whichever way, there should never be a reason they don't get a call, okay? Top discovery questions. And this is where ask the customer, right? They want to talk. Give them that chance to talk, right? Because they will tell you what's wrong with their business, right? It's just, you just have to listen to them, right? And say, okay, what's going on? Tell me, and one of the things to do is call in to that customer's location before you even talk to them, right? Call in and see what happens, right? You prep that call, you're going to speak to that customer. You could be anybody calling in, right? See how it works. Maybe say, yeah, you know what, I called in. I did that. I look after TELUS stores. I did that personally with TELUS. I was doing a presentation to TELUS Corporate. And actually, I called the Lime Ridge store in the height of COVID last year. And I called in and said, thank you for calling TELUS stores. We're currently closed due to COVID. Okay. If you'd like to speak to somebody urgently, please hang up and dial this number. And I'm thinking, okay, just a minute, that's an auto attendant that if they press 1, they can go to that number. I shouldn't have to hang up and do it again. And I use that in the presentation. I said, you haven't set this up right. You're not providing the right service to a customer. Okay. So again, top discovery questions. Yeah, we can give you, what are the top 3, 5 specific capabilities in priority order that you need? Well, yeah, what would change your day? If I could get more customers to you, would that be interesting to you? Do you have customers who you think can't get through because it's busy? Okay, well, you've only got 4 users, but put a queue in, right? Do you have, for instance, if you're looking, you're in a, very competitive situation, oh, we have 3 people who work here, but they all take the same calls. Well, can you share a device there and use 3 phones on 1 license? Because it's capable within our system, right? So them things become important as well for you to be competitive when you're speaking to customers. So that including discovery, right? You're discovering that 3 people don't really need an extension number separately. They all work from the same one. It doesn't make any difference, right? You can carry on going through different things all the time, but again, listen to the customer. Just ask the simple questions. Customers will talk and let you and guide you to what they're looking at doing. So Business Connect resources. I think for once I'm actually getting through something. Usually I take too long. So anyway, so the Business Connect resources are assigned, So SBS support and demo, and this is dealers, everything, right? 50 employees and below. This is what we call a WUFU form. Does everybody know what a WUFU form is?
I'm going to guess no.
No? Okay, so this is a quick way, folks. If you just follow the links, very quick way for you to put a request in for a demo, right? We have internal salespeople as well as ourselves, right, who work on the smaller side of the business, right, to do demos. You get this form filled in, customers' information's on there. One of our inside salespeople, either whether it's Jefferson, it's Ivani, it's let me think, Carlo, or it's Jennifer, and we spread each have the regions across Canada. They'll reach out to the customer for you. They will set a demo up, right? Involve you in it, right? Spend some time with them. Get on demos like that. If you want to do some demos yourself, maybe use these first. Just see how a quick demo runs through, right? One thing I would say with demos is don't get tied up into PowerPoint death, right? I asked Roop, he's on the call. What we do is we'll do the Gartner slide predominantly. We'll do the wheel, and then we go into the demo of the tools. Show the tools, right? Show the unified app, right? Then go into the voice manager and show the things that are important in the voice manager to the customer. You don't have to show them everything in there, but show them the things that are important to them. Okay. But again, very good way of getting a quick demo. And usually the inside sales folks can usually get a demo done within a couple of days for you, right? They have more time than we have, let's say, to actually get on demos because we're dealing with a lot of other things. Okay. So who are the resources out there? The deal support. Michael, obviously, is our VP of Canada. We have Tammy out in BC. Doug is also a West guy. He's our engineer out there, same as Rupinder on this side. And he supports Tammy and he supports Nicole. Nicole's in Alberta. Okay. Rup, Most of you may know Roop, or maybe not, I don't know. But Roop's there as well. And he serves our eastern side. He actually serves all Eastern Canada. So he supports me, and he also supports Sylvain. And so he goes right out to the East Coast from Manitoba and Saskatchewan out. Obviously, I'm down there, Central. Rafi, who's our National Enterprise Channel Manager on the system. So he gets involved in deals 500 and above, and also enterprise deals. Laurie is the manager for the smaller at the SPS Center, and she has Carlo, Jennifer, Ivoni, and who else are we missing off here? Jefferson. Jefferson's not on here. Okay, we need to add another one, Rafi. We're missing Jefferson. Anyway, but Jefferson is actually, he supports Ontario, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan.
I have to update it. Sorry, Jefferson.
So he's there for anyone who's in that territories. And you see the others are east. Atlanta is Ivoni with Quebec, and west is Jennifer, and Carlo is he's actually central, but it's not really central. He's Alberta. Okay. I've never got through this so quick in my life. I was told to not dwell too much and carry on, but
you beat your own record.
Yeah, but I beat my own record.
I think you beat everybody else. So it was 45 minutes supposed to be, and it is 45 minutes supposed to be.
There
so
you go.
Have enough time for the Q&A. Doug, I hope it's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
So
there were a couple of questions that we already addressed. For everybody else who has any questions or wants to go back and review anything, feel free to post that in the chat.
So they asked if the session will be recorded. I suppose yes. Obviously, it is recorded right now. And,
yes, it's already being recorded.
Yeah, and Doug, I suppose you're going to send the recording to everybody.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yep.
Anybody got any
Yes.
questions, scenarios that you've come across that you'd like to talk about? Anything?
Or maybe some deals that you guys are working on right now. You need some help. That would be also good.
I mean, remember, we're here for you guys, because we're not successful unless you guys are successful. Let's put it that way.
Okay. What about any of the channel managers? Is there any questions that you have that you would like to post or speak up on? If not, I think
somebody has their hand up. I'm not sure. Call any user for.
Sorry, I didn't see the question.
There's no question. There's a
Oh,
raised
they
hand.
just have their hand up. I don't know if it's just a mistake or by mistake they did it, but I see somebody has their hand up. So
That's Sean. And I'm going to unmute you. Sean, I think you're unmuted if you want to speak up.
I am. Yeah, thanks. Oh, technology's great when it doesn't work. Thanks, Gary. That was awesome. Sorry I was late and not there to kick it off.
Not a problem.
But that was a great, the ending with the resources, the dialogue. I hope, we can continue, and it's a solid solution for everything we're doing. It really is. So thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Problem.
Yeah.
So, no, I can't believe that nobody has any questions.
It was perfect, Gary. That's the issue.
So that means then next week they should all be going out and selling 100 users a piece.
Correct. Minimum.
Yeah, minimum.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, them are signed and activated in month, by the way.
Yeah. September loading. Yeah.
Hey, Doug, did you invite everyone in in Ontario and in the Maritimes as well, or
yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, for those that are on, Doug, we have another webinar for our security team with the Fortinet folks coming up. So make sure you guys that the emails came out together. For those of you that are on the call that still need more details, you know, we're here. We've given you the team at Ring Central to connect with, who are super supportive and want to see us win, because if we win, they win. So I think it's a compelling story.
You know, if you've got questions, use the TELUS sales, right? Just the TELUS sales email and ask you questions. Put your questions out there. We all see them, right?
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of us see them, right? So I mean, anyone could answer you. You know, I mean, we try and leave it to the region so it doesn't confuse things too much. But I mean, anyone can answer that. You know, so we'll provide any answers. Maybe it's a case of some people don't know sometimes, you know, a certain answer for something, but somebody else does, right? So it's always good to post it in there. At least then you get the spread of people being able to answer it.
Hey Gary,
Hey,
sorry, I'm interrupting.
No
problem.
All right. So just a quick question. So one of the things I think that we really need to emphasize with partners on the call is why TELUS Business Connect and not other hosted solutions or even Ring Central Direct. So we've got partners who, you know, that we don't have the gift of network to put Business Connect over in some cases. So what tips and tricks could you give to the broader audience on, you know, even if we don't have TELUS Network, this is why TELUS Business Connect is better than, you know, the alternative out there?
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, you know, the thing is with, let's just go back to the slide here. We did have a slide. Yeah, why TELUS? I mean, when you're looking, I mean, TELUS Business Connect, right? So what we've got to think of it with a solution that's down to the 1-2 users up to the 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 users, right? We don't change anything for different people. Yes, there's a couple of different licenses, right? But we don't change anything. So I'm not a why TELUS really, but I mean, TELUS provide the hands and feet on the street, right? They provide that relationship, because to me, sales is all about relationship. It's a lot more difficult. I think people have probably found that over this COVID time, that it's a lot more difficult to create the right relationships because there's no feelings over video, right? People tune out. They may be looking at the screen, but they're really not looking at the screen, right? So, I mean, so someone talking? So TELUS provide that extra piece to there. Like somebody, you talk RC Direct. In most instances, they're never going to see somebody at their premises, right? But you're there, right? Yes, there's a couple of differences feature-wise between, you know, TELUS and Ring Central. Are they big things? No, not really. And actually, TELUS are getting more or less all the features that RC get anyway. There's only a couple of differences. But one, I'll give you one advantage you have over them currently today is that you can do 4 devices on one license. They can't, right? So, I mean, you think if you're just taking off, you know, 60, 70, 80 bucks off the monthly cost, you know, it's really, really, use it to its power, right? You might say, okay, yeah, well, I'm not getting as much revenue from it. No, but the thing is that customer going to grow over the next year? Now you're getting more licenses from the customer, right? It's not about always winning from day one, everything. It's creating that right relationship, winning that relationship, and growing that relationship. Okay, you have to prove to them, right, that what you've got bringing to the table for them will fit their business, right, and move their business forward. Again, it's the tomorrow today thing, right? I've always looked at it that way. I've been a customer as well, so you know I used to run contact center for CAA, right, and telecommunications for CAA. So I mean, I had the largest at-home contact center in Southern Ontario. I had 36 agents working from home in the mid 90s, right? So I was a pioneer of that stuff, you know. Having agents work, I had no agents in the office. All my agents work from home, right? So if you was in Southern Ontario, every call for road service was answered by somebody who was working from home, right? I mean, you know, that could be anybody working from home, someone who's stuck at home. think of them things, right? You know, they can open up their employment to other people who can't get to an office, right? So there's other things you can do that you know, don't not include things, right? Now business is open to anybody, right? Because of the capability of being able to answer calls anywhere in the world. Right? I've done contact centers in Yugoslavia for people that they're on Canadian numbers, right? It really makes no difference. Don't let borders and things like that be small, right? They're really, the borders have been removed for doing things, you know.
And when you combine, okay, the best UCaaS platform today with one of the top 3 carrier in Canada, so you have to understand that 80% of the UCaaS sales are purchased are sold by the carriers. So we are one of the 3, and we have a relationship of more than 7 years and over 175,000 seats installed. We're by far the largest in by the numbers, okay, with TELUS. So buying from TELUS is actually as if you're buying from RingCentral, but you got all the extra, all the support, all the network, everything that you need, all the relationship, all the pricing, all, you know, that's what people, most of the customer wants. They want to have the relationship with the carrier. They don't want to have a relationship with an extra vendor, okay? That's what they don't want. They want to unify also the services. That's very important for the customers as well. So just to answer a piece of the, you know, your question, Delisa.
Yeah, they want it to be easier, right? Easier to them is, I don't want to deal with it anymore. One of the areas we're trying to get into now is the retirement industry. They don't want to look after equipment, and retirement industry has always been on site, right? It's always on site equipment, right? Because they need analog to the rooms. Okay, there's ways around that, right? We can get around them things. You know, we can put an analog bank in there, 266 port analog banks. It's a special assembly, but we can do a bank like that and still provide the analog to them buildings. You know, we can do other things. I mean, most people probably won't have heard of it. There's a product called FiBridge out there that we work with, right? We're working with them in the US now, you know, and they can provide a single twisted pair of copper, right, and provide an IP phone on the end of it. So there's a lot of different ways around it. Retirement homes, you know, it's a case of, okay, they want to bring in their own phone, right? Okay, well, that's analog. But if they're usually selling the service to them people moving in, right? Well, they could sell it with a very basic IP phone. It doesn't have to be a fancy IP phone, because really the people only need pick up and answer. And, you know, some people, unfortunately, I'm getting in that age group now as well. You know, they're more smart sometimes with applications on their cell phones than what we really think about, right? You know, I mean, how many times are you out there and you see the 70, 80-year-olds, and they're punching away on the phone and everything else, right? So I mean, tailor it to them, right? The system can provide for them, you know, so it can provide a lot more to retirement homes than it's ever done. You know, I mean, and small, big retirement homes, it really doesn't matter, you know.
As time you reminded me, guys, you all know the value the TELUS brand. It's billions of dollars. There is no comparison between the TELUS brand and the RC brand in Canada and anywhere else. So that's a very important component. So that you guys bring.
You use the power behind your name. You know, never be afraid of using it. You know, be proud of using the name TELUS out there with customers.
And that's why in 90% of the cases, if not more, when RC go direct against TELUS, RC loses. Okay. And but now it's not supposed to be even a problem. If you guys see an opportunity where our RingCentral is already there, just let us know, and we'll make sure that we position TELUS. RingCentral people will get paid in any case, so they just have to be aware of it. So just bring this to the table. No issue about it. I hope you answered the question. I think we spoke too much. Delicia.
Rafi, Gary, thank you. That was very good, and it definitely helps.
Cool.
Good. Like I say, we're open to any questions anytime. I mean, like I say, success is everybody, not just individuals.
Thank you. Thank you, Doug. Thanks, everybody. Thank Gary for the presentation. Thanks, Roop.
Hey, no problem.
And thank you, guys. Ami, Sylvain, everybody.
Nice to meet everybody virtually.
Okay.
Everybody.
Thank you for
Yep,
participating, everyone, and your questions. We will wrap things up now. Have yourselves a great afternoon.
Okay. Thanks,
Cheers.
everybody. Goodbye.
Everyone. Bye.